Criminal hypnosis. How fraudulent hypnotists work. The fact that people have to deal with criminal hypnosis on the streets is often talked about in the press. We have to admit that there are criminal schemes in which hypnosis is used for profit. The people who use it may look completely different. They can be women in colorful gypsy skirts offering to predict fortune, or mysterious strangers, or simply passers-by, no different from ordinary city dwellers. As a rule, such hypnotists choose the most crowded places to carry out their criminal activity: train stations, parks, main streets, and electric trains. The main thing for them is the need to attract the attention of the victim, for a few moments to detain you or stop. Most often this is done with the simplest question. For example, they ask what time it is, or ask for a cigarette. As a rule, the unsuspecting person fixes his attention on the offender for a while, and this is often quite enough to begin the work of immersion in hypnosis. Specialists in rapid psychological hypnosis know that any person freezes if contact with him carries reactions such as surprise, suddenness, fright, sympathy, a sudden change of body position in space, sharp sound, light, smell, psychological sympathy. Any hypnotist understands that, according to the principle of likeness, they must resemble the person with whom they come into contact in everything. Knowing this trick, members of the criminal community will quite easily establish contact with an outsider. There are special techniques that help to adjust to the desired person. For example, if you imperceptibly and with a delay copy the gestures of the hypnotized person. It is important to understand that at the stage of establishing contact, the hypnotized person should not notice that anything is being imposed on him. Therefore, experienced swindlers structure the contact conversation in such a way that you yourself will feel the desire to address them with the very request that the criminals themselves have envisaged in their plan. A talented scammer is very observant, is a good actor, and is able to improvise in any unforeseen scripted situation, so he will look and act very convincingly. There is another very important point about criminal hypnosis. The main secret of criminal hypnosis is that the fraudsters will choose as an object only the one who is known to be the least resistant to the influence of others. How do criminals calculate the victim in a crowd is still impossible to say unequivocally. Largely due to experience, scammers know how to identify a suggestible person by a few signs, without conducting any preliminary tests. So, when the victim's attention has been attracted and contact has been established, criminal hypnotists move on to the next stage: fixation and retention of attention. This is only possible if the subject becomes interested in what the fraudster is supposedly offering him. Hypnosis sets in: the sooner the better. The hypnotist succeeds in rousing the victim's interest in an offer. In this case, the person's consciousness is already clouded, he is unable to adequately assess what is going on around him, while the scammer does not let him come to his senses. Even if someone tries to distract the hypnotized object, the victim himself will want to participate in the spectacle. As mentioned above, in order to establish contact and hold interest, cheaters learn to feel the emotions of the other person, try to be observant and notice the smallest details of the visible and audible world. Another secret is to touch a person's right hand. This action generates mutual trust, sympathy, and fascination. Scientifically, this is explained by the fact that the human right hand and its receptors occupy more than 1/4 of the human cerebral cortex. Thus, through the right hand one can strongly influence consciousness. Having established contact and holding the object's attention, the hypnotist performs a series of actions to limit the victim's attention as much as possible and to turn it to internal sensations and images. An altered state of consciousness appears. Its onset is noted by hypnotists by observable signs of trance. They may be visible even to the naked eye. The most important sign of the trance state is a fixed gaze with dilated pupils. The person freezes and his breathing slows down. It is at this time that hypnotists do what they attracted the victim's attention for: they give the hypnotized person some information, give their attitudes, and leave, having achieved their goal. As a rule, the person will stand quietly, even if they take his wallet out of his pocket, remove his jewelry, and so on. Not only will the victim not resist, but afterwards he won't even remember what actually happened. To summarize briefly, let us recall that the psychotechnique of inducing a trance in criminal hypnosis can be broken down into several important points. The hypnotist needs to do the following in order for his idea to be successful. First, attract attention and make contact. Second, fix and hold the attention on some external or internal object or phenomenon or experience. Third, to limit and fix attention as much as possible. Fourth, to put the client's consciousness into a trance state. Fifth, fix and deepen the trance that arises. Sixth, encode the person for the desired hypnotist purposes. And last, to code to erase from memory all that is associated with hypnosis.